Good morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Happy Wednesday to everyone, mga brunchies. It's the middle of the week. Thank you for joining us. Once again, madami tayong pag-uusapan as always.
We have a loaf of bread here.
We have a loaf of bread.
Na kinakain namin kanina pa.
May palaman po yan na
palaman.
paubos na.
Egg
Kaya pa kami
sandwich.
kumakain.
May kami ng egg sandwich. Gawa ni Kuya Elmer.
Special egg sandwich yan.
Sarap.
Secret recipe yan and coffee.
Hindi pa natapos, busog na ako.
Start. Dami tayong pag-uusapan today,
yes,
di ba?
Oo.
Madaming balita. May pag-uusapan tayo about traffic as well.
Oo. Impeachment complaint.
Impeachment complaint.
Of course, yung ano pa ba? Yung sa mga, yung sinisingil sa, yung discount ng mga senior citizen, pregnant women, PWD, and students sa mga TNVS drivers. Sinasabi ni Senator Tulfo, i-refund, di ba? Yung mga siningil. Kasi sinishoulder pala ng mga driver.
Yung discount. Dapat sinishoulder ng system.
Yes.
O ng actual TNVS operators mismo.
Doble plaka.
Doble plaka.
Nasabay ka. Mamaya mag-usapan natin. Marami pa tayong mga issues for today.
We're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Let's start off our countdown with traffic. Davao City has been named the 8th most congested city in the world, according to the latest TomTom Traffic Index. The index evaluates 500 cities across 62 countries by congestion, travel times, and hours lost in traffic. The report showed that commuters in Davao spend an average of nearly 33 minutes for every 10 kilometers traveled, making it the most congested city in the Philippines. It also recorded the worst traffic performance in Southeast Asia. Meanwhile, Manila ranked 14th globally with slightly quicker travel times of 32 minutes per 10 kilometers. Ngayon, kung magrereklamo yung ibang tao, bakit? Yung EDSA hindi nila tinignan. Ang EDSA po kasi is not a avenue that is limited to one city. EDSA caters to Quezon City, Makati, Pasig, Marikina. Lahat ng city sa Metro Manila, ginagamit po ang EDSA.
Right.
So therefore, it is like considered sa states parang an interstate highway. Parang highway yan that serves all the cities. Ngayon, kung pag-uusapan mo Quezon City mismo, traffic ka sa EDSA, pero pag nakapasok ka sa QC, not so bad. Minsan sa EDSA, traffic, pagpasok mo sa Makati, not so bad anymore. It's usually along EDSA lang talaga in mga bypass roads.
May mga bottlenecks doon.
Even Manila, di ba, na kilala sa traffic noon has improved significantly. So, ang pinag-uusapan dito is traffic inside the city. And Davao is the most congested in the world.
In the world.
Number 8 and worst in Southeast Asia and worst in the Philippines.
So, congestion at saka travel time yung kanilang ginamit na gauge. Diba? To measure nga
so, 10 kilometers, 33 minutes.
32 nakalagay. 32 minutes. Bagal nun. So, mostly kasi yung iba, siguro, hindi pa kasi ako nakarating dun sa Davao kung saan nila sinungkat yung siguro masiskip din yung daan, hindi ganun kalaki.
They don't have a major thoroughfare naman like EDSA here. Parang siguro sila may Commonwealth lang sila.
Yeah,
But with the amount of business that's going on in Davao and yung commerce and siguro they need to expand more roads.
And we all know naman, kapag sinabi mong traffic, a lot of businesses ang nawawala sa atin, 'di ba? Dahil yung time mo nakukonsume lang doon sa kalsada, kaya hindi maganda na nagiging traffic sa lugar.
Transaction times kasi lost because of traffic. Ay, Manila is the 14th, by the way, for context yan. So, Davao is at the 8th, Manila is 14th. All right,
let's continue with our countdown. Now next in our countdown, President Bongbong Marcos wants PhilHealth services unhampered. Marcos ordered the health department to ensure the continued services of the state health insurer. He said the agency getting zero subsidy from the government should not affect the delivery of healthcare services. PhilHealth has assured the public that its current funds are sufficient to maintain or even expand its services.
So, no impact supposedly
dapat daw,
zero subsidy.
Oo.
Pero,
so, kaya nga, di ba, may nakausap din tayo mga taga-PhilHealth dito the last time. meron silang mga expansion.
Si Doc Ish
Pargas, meron silang mga expansion doon sa kanilang mga case. Sabi ko nga magpapakitang gila sila para next budget deliberation for 2026, bigyan na sila ng subsidy.
Oo. Well, by that time, yung nila, excess funds nila,
Na-deplete na.
Na-deplete na, oo.
O kasi dami, dahil of course, meron na silang yung consultation package.
Yeah.
Diba? Tapos yung sa mga iba't ibang pang mga sakit, yan yung mga tinitignan nila. Pero of course, diba yung isa din sa mga naging concern din natin dito, pagdating nga dyan sa budget ng PhilHealth, we talked about this, of course, kasama din yung taga PHAPI, yung presidente ng Private Hospital Association. Sinasabi nga nila na marami pa, billions pa yung pinag-uusapan natin na na utang pa ng PhilHealth since the pandemic.
Yeah.
So sila, on the other
backlog
hand,
nila.
diba, kasi mga private hospitals to, walang subsidy to from the government. Sinasabi nila na kapag hindi nabigyan ng government ng ng remedy, diba, yung pagtaas ng presyo ng mga equipment, etc., ng mga gamot, sabi nila, wala silang choice but to increase their operating expenses, which is
increase their charging fees.
Yes, charging fees.
Yung operating expenses nila will have to be cut.
Yes, that's
Baliktad.
what
Meaning that they have to possibly lay off people, deplete several departments, magkakaroon na lang sila ng mga special
and it will
mga
help
specialty.
It will help if PhilHealth will pay them. Diba? Kasi ilang taon na yun from 2020 until now, hindi pa sila nababayaran.
Partida, wala kang boses niya, dire-diretso ang salita.
Alright, sige. Let's continue with our countdown.
On our 8th spot, Transport Network Vehicle Services or TNVS drivers will no longer shoulder the 20% fare discounts for senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and students starting February. LTFRB Chairperson Attorney Teofilo Guadis III said that a memorandum circular will be issued requiring all transport network companies and operators to cover the discount costs. Senate Committee on Public Services Chairman Senator Raffy Tulfo raised concerns about drivers bearing the burden of the mandated discounts. In response, the LTFRB proposed an 80-20 cost-sharing scheme where 80% of the discount would be covered by the company and 20% by the operators. Senator Tulfo also called for a refund for drivers who had previously shouldered the cost of discounts.
All right, to discuss this matter further, we have with us LTFRB Technical Division Chief Joel Bolano. Magandang umaga po. Thanks for joining us on Brunch.
Good morning. Magandang umaga, Miss Angela and
Yes.
Diego
po.
Diego.
Angelo. Opo.
Thank you, sir. Opo.
We understand na kasama naman po ang LTFRB, specifically si Chairman Guadis, dun sa mga naging Senate hearings with Senator Tulfo regarding this matter. But ang tanong po daw, how come po na all this time pala po yung mga driver ang sumasalo ng discount na ito para sa mga PWD, students at saka senior citizens?
Nag-start po yan, Miss Angela, doon.
Yes po, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yung discount po talaga ng ating mga PWD, senior citizen student, shouldered not by the driver, but by the operator. Yan po yung general rule natin.
Yes,
But for the PS po, sa accreditation kasi initially, nung 2017 na circular ng LTFRB, nakalagay po doon, nabanggit din po ni chairman namin yan sa committee na it should be shouldered PNC. So during the Senate hearing, ang sabi ng mga drivers na nando doon, start lang po yung pag-shoulder nila itong 2024, start ng March. So nung narinig po yun ng aming board, nag-commit po si chairman na ipatawag po lahat ng PNC. So yung ginawa ng LTFRB, nagkaroon po sila ng show cause to shed light po doon sa ginawa na pag-shoulder po doon sa 20% discount.
Okay, so sir, tama po ba ang intindi namin na sinasabi nyo, this has been a long-standing rule na dapat yung kumpanya ang nag-shoulder ng discount nga nitong sa PWD, sa estudyante at saka sa mga senior citizen. Pero nung 2024 lang ginawa na ang mga mismong driver ang nag-shoulder. Tama po?
Yes, that's according to the during the Senate hearing. Pero ang tinitingnan nga namin dyan, kaya nga po show cause order ang LTFP para po ma-check dun sa mga PNCs kasi hindi lang naman isa ang
Yes,
PNCs natin kung ang sino-shoulder ba ng driver kasi it should be the operator.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
For the TN, it should be the TNC based doon sa original, sa initial MC namin. But because in 20 nagkaroon kami ng issuance on the permit
Yes.
sa the TNVS, may mga provision doon na si operator. That's why the show cause order is, ang intention po nun is para magkaroon po ng liwanag. Kaya
Yes.
nag-commit po
That's right.
Miss
That's right.
Angela chairman na we will come out with a policy para once and for all, masettle na ito.
Yeah.
That's right.
As far as the TNVS is concerned.
Yeah.
Yes, Chief Joel, kasi no, yung pinaka-model po ng Grab is very similar to that of Uber sa US, wherein the assumption is that the driver is also the operator. It's because ang modelo po nitong TNVS app lang naman is just a platform. It's just a platform to provide your services. So kaya siguro ang sinasabi noon po ng Grab na dapat yung driver ang nag-shoulder because sa kanya po yung sasakyan, siya rin ang operator. Hindi po yung, nangyari po sa Pilipinas, may nagkaroon ng operator tapos may fleet at nagkaroon ng driver na hire. So ano po ang komento natin dyan sa dating rationale behind it na dapat pagpareho sana sa modelo ng Uber, talagang ang driver dapat daw mag-shoulder?
Actually, dito sa model natin, kahit si TNVS ang nagdadrive ay hindi si operator at may driver siya, si operator dapat ang
So dapat talaga operator.
in general term, opo, kasi siya yung owner sa TNVS. Kaya nga, case po ni Chairman Guad sa interview niya na lahat po ng discount should be shouldered by operator, not driver. So kung operator-driver ka in the event na maglabas na po ang LTFRB ng policy, sa shouldering din po kumbaga, maghahati sila, si operator pa rin. Wala pa rin dyan si driver.
So in other words, Chief Joel, unless ikaw may-ari ng sasakyan at wala kang operator, 100% sa'yo.
So, tama po.
Okay.
Kasi ano nangyayari?
Unless nga po, sinabi ng policy namin, kung maglabas na po kami ng policy na hindi sa 30%, si operator sa 30%.
Ano daw po ulit? Pakiulit lang po, sir, na wala po kayo.
In case labas po ng policy guidelines na magkaroon ng sharing between the operator, siyempre magkakaroon na po hatian yan between the operator.
Oo. Ang gusto po kasi...
Pero wala pa rin po siya doon sa picture.
Okay. So pero ang narinig po namin kasi din po sa naging pagpupulong nga po sa Senate, no, sinasabi ni Senator Raffy Tulfo na i-refund daw po sa mga driver yung mga na-shoulder nila. Ano? So sabi nyo nga po since 2024. So how are we going to go about this po?
Yun nga po, that's part of the hearing na ginagawa ng board. We will be requiring the PNCs to submit ng mga list ng drivers na nag-operate during para po compute ng LTFR in case meron talagang pag-shoulder po doon cost 20% doon sa mga driver.
Lastly, sir, kung meron na po kayong mga pinaka-update po dito sa investigasyon ninyo kasi sinasabi nyo nga po, long-standing rule na po na dapat yung operator yung nag-shoulder. And base po sa magiging investigasyon nyo in the future, kung may mga paglabag nga po ginawa ang mga operators, are we looking at filing charges against them?
That's part of the hearing. Kung maging decision, definitely may mga penalties po silang
Nako, nawala. Oo. Ayun, there you go.
Definitely, Angela, may mga corresponding penalties po. Kung may mga violations, kaya nga po may hearing po tayo.
All right. Thank you for your time and insights. That was LTFRB Technical Division Chief Joel Bolano.
Oo. So, yun naman pa. Thank you po.
Yun, alam mo kasi
naman pala eh.
Hindi, pero we have to remember na wala mo, I think in good faith yung nangyayari. It's because you have to remember the model of Grab talaga is the operator is the owner.
Yeah.
So ang assumption niyan is why does the driver pay for it? Kasi ina-assume ng tao ikaw nang drive ng sasakyan mo, ikaw rin ang operator. Ngayon sa Pilipinas lang kasi nangyari
Yes.
na an operator will buy 10 cars tapos magtotoka siya ng fleet at iba-iba kasi that's not the model talaga of
Kaya
Grab.
nga, pero sundin niyo yung rules.
No, I
Yung
know.
sinabi, long-standing rule na dapat ang operator siya magbabayad. Eh, ibang bansa yun. Eh, dito
I
iba yung
know,
rule natin.
no. What I'm saying kasi is may gray area. In other words, hindi naman nakadefine who is operator and who is driver. It was not defined. Basta ang nakalagay lang, operator will pay because the assumption was initially
So, ang
that the
ginawa daw nila
operator
dito,
is the driver. That
yes.
is the assumption.
Yeah, oo. Pero dito nga, merong long-standing tayo na ang operator dapat ang mag-shoulder. Ang ginawa nila nung 2024 lang daw nakita nila is kunyari, yung sa isang TNVS, 80% sa operator, tapos may 20% yung driver. So ngayon ang ginagawa ng driver, hindi sila tinatanggihan nila ngayon yung mga customer or mga passengers na or commuters na mga senior citizen, PWD or estudyante because they don't want to shell out that.
I'm not talking about that. I agree with that. Dapat talagang, if the driver does not own the car, then dapat may share siya with operator. What I was just saying, kaya nagkaroon ng confusion, paulitin ko to, is because ang assumption ng mga tao, you operate and you own the vehicle. So 100%, since it is your business, ikaw ang mag-shoulder ng
No, pinattern, ito na sa LTFRB, ito pinattern lang din naman nila to for other, for other
Exactly what I'm saying.
transportation
Exactly what I'm saying. Kaya nga nagpatawag sila ngayon to define who is the operator and who is the driver. Ngayon at least clearly define if you are not the driver but you are the operator, 80% sa'yo, 20% sa driver. If you are the operator and the driver at the
Tsaka
same
ang tanong dyan, ginagawa nila before, but in 2024, biglang binago
because nga
nila.
hindi nga naka-define ang relationship ng operator and driver. Di ba? Ulitin ko, pag operator ka and not the driver, 80% sa'yo as operator, 20% sa driver. Ngayon, if you are the operator and you are the driver at the same time, 100%
Yes,
sa'yo.
of course.
Hindi lang kasi
Kaya nga
define.
nagagalit si Senator Tulfo kasi pinapa-shoulder sa mga...
Oo nga, hindi
dapat
kasi hindi kasi naka-define ang relationship. And second, they have to once and for all pag-usapan ano ba ang TNVS platform. Are we going to use the system of taxis as well na may operator ka tas may fleet ka? Kasi that defeats the purpose kung ano talaga ang TNVS.
Ang motorcycle taxi
No,
driver nga ngayon hindi pa...
That's what-
I'm telling you, it's not even legal yet.
Exactly. What I'm saying is we have to define it because the premise of the TNVS platform is to additional income. For example, ako, may trabaho ako sa Mandaluyong, taga QC ako. Di yung travel ko from QC to Mandaluyong every day, dagdagan ko ng income ko, I will enroll myself in a TNVS. Si Bibi Gandang Hari, yan ang ginagawa eh. Diba? So si Bibi, from her house in LA all the way to her school, in another point of LA, Uber siya. So in her travels every day to school, tino-turn on niya yung TNVS app niya para makadalawa o tatlong sasakay sa kanya. Yun ang platform dapat na sinusundan yung modelo. Ang ginawa ng iba, bumili ng 10 kotse,
Nag-fleet,
kumuha ng
nagtayo
10
ng
driver.
fleet.
Hindi
Yun
po yun dapat ganon. Because iba ang prangkisa nun. Di ba? Nagkagulo sila ng LTFRB kasi walang prangkisa eh.
Yes.
Oo. So yun ang pag-aralan din nila. You have to clarify all of these things kasi nakakagulo tayo lahat eh.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Promising actor, singer Dylan Menor has signed a partnership agreement with the MVP Group through Stages Talent Agency. Mobile Journal Denise Palisancho has the report.
It's confirmed. Up-and-coming artist Dylan Menor is now part of the MVP Group family. Rising star Dylan Menor received a warm welcome last Monday, January 13, during the signing of his partnership with key MVP Group companies in cooperation with Stages Talent Agency. Joining him at the event were Carlo Orosa and Judith Bueno. Representing Signal and MQuest Ventures were key executives Bong Santa Maria, John Andal, Jane Basas, and Shen Olaso. Mon Samarista, Lloyd Manaloto, and Boy Martinez were also present for SMART. Amwell President and CEO Shea Cabal Revilla also witnessed the signing, while key executives Boy Martinez and Ricky Vargas represented Guyana. Kicking off 2025 with a major milestone, Dylan is gearing up for an exciting lineup of projects for the year, much to the delight of his fans. For those aspiring to join the industry, especially those starting out on the social media, the young talent has his advice.
There's no secret formula to growing any social media account. Pero siguro an advice I could give is to just be yourself, to be authentic. Kasi when you're authentic, that's when the people would relate more to you. especially with any content that you produce and you share to the world. So, yun. And another one siguro is to just keep improving your talents, your skills, para at least yung contents mo na nire-release, it just improves on a daily basis or every weekly, monthly, para at least yung mga viewers, audience mo, matuwa sa contents na nilalabas mo.
Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho. We are One News.
Right, congratulations. And coming up, the Philippines is once again calling on China to withdraw its so-called monster ship from the West Philippine Sea.
And Vice President Sara Duterte is now considering running for president in 2028. Ano kaya ang kanyang mga rason?
We are just getting started, mga kapatid. 10:20 pa lang. More of our top 10 news. 10:20 na pala. Top 10 news when brunch returns.
Bilis.
Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Happy Wednesday po.
Happy
of course.
Wednesday to all our viewers.
Oo, bilisan ko lang,
Social
babatiin
media.
ko sila sa social media.
YouTube.
Of course, si Alex Fuentes, si Migs Ebron, unang-una nag-comment daw siya. Hi, good morning. Favorite din daw niya ang egg sandwich.
Oh.
Si Sam Pokemon Go, si Ralph Domingo, si Jamie or Jaime Barcelano, nanonood daw din siya sa atin. Over here sa YouTube, we have, of course, Tita Daisy Cancho, Tito Analdi, and Kuya Jopet, watching all the way from Antipolo. And of course, Ate Mirna ng Pasig. Si Ronald Maxtay also watching. Si Rodrigo Gonlao, nanonood din siya sa atin. Si Summer Cabrera, si Leonie Valdesoto, Happy Wednesday Brunchies. Yan, nabasa ko na siya. Si Randy Montes, nanonood din siya.
Dami-dami sila ngayon,
Oo, si Ao James, nanonood din siya.
At saka happy birthday pala kay Pinsan Mian.
Oo. Tapos si ang tawag dito si
Mother Earth,
si
Tasha,
VJ, si Ate
Ice.
Linggo,
Oo.
at saka si Mina Banales and Tita Esther Abaya nanonood sa atin. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Going straight now to our top 7, the House Bicameral Conference Committee approves the amended Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act. The new measure will no longer require motorcycles to attach two license plates. The final version of the bill also deleted the RFID stickers requirement for motorcycles. The original law was signed in 2019 by former President Rodrigo Duterte. It sought to prevent the use of motorcycles in crimes by mandating bigger or additional plates. Yeah, I remember that kasi talamak at that time yung mga riding in tandem. So nag-isip sila na paano ba mabawasan to kasi hindi nakikita. Naka-helmet.
So, lagyan daw ng plaka yung helmet or lagyan ng plaka yung harap. Ang problema naman, hinaing na mga riders natin, intindihan na naman natin yun. Nasisira yung pagka-aerodynamic. Because ang motor po sa harap has to break wind. So when you break wind, yung hulma ng lahat ng motor kung makikita nyo, patulis. So that pag tumatama ang wind, wala kang resistance. Ang problema, pag may lagyan mo ng plaka yan, kahit gaano kaliit, you're forming a shield, a barrier against the wind. So yung balance ng mga rider natin
nawawala, nasisira.
We understand that.
Tsaka sinabi din nung ibang mga riders, baka daw itong yung batas na to at that time that it was being drafted, ay sinasabi nila may discrimination.
May discrimination,
na sabi ba, porket motorcycle na, criminal na.
Well, it's totoo naman that there's an increase of crimes using riding and tandem motorcycles.
At that time.
But it's not the solution to single out motorcycle riders. Maybe ang solution yan is police visibility. Kasi more police visibility,
CCTV cameras.
crime deterrent kasi ang police visibility. You have more policemen on the street, baka less crimes will happen.
Tsaka yun nga yung maraming mga dapat gumagana at saka yung mga efficient na CCTV.
Problema sa CCTV.
Iba minsan,
Kahit may CCTV niya, wala naman takot yung mga criminal talaga gumawa. Alam nila kung may CCTV, yuyuko na lang ng ganyan eh.
tsaka kasi naka-helmet sila.
Naka-helmet sila, kaya police visibility lang talaga ang pinaka-solution
Tsaka
dyan.
isa pa sa mga naging dahilan din na sinasabi nila na wag na magdoble plaka kasi yung yung mga plaka nga na ibang sasakyan hanggang ngayon may backlog pa, hindi pa
Tapos
nila
dodoble mo pa yung sa motor.
wala pa. So ayusin muna nila yung mga backlog nila bago mag-require ng mga ganito. Pero eto nga, so approved na ng BICAM itong amended na Motorcycle Prevention Act. Okay, let's continue with our countdown.
Switching gears for our top 6, the Supreme Court has issued a temporary restraining order or temporary restraining orders against the disqualification of some aspirants. Among them was former Congressman Edgar Erice, who filed his candidacy for Caloocan representative. Erice had been disqualified for allegedly disseminating false and alarming information on the Comelec Miro deal. But he eventually filed a petition before the Supreme Court to reverse the decision to disqualify him. 4 others also secured TROs, including aspiring vets from Ilocos Sur, Zambales, and San Juan. The Supreme Court said their names should be reinstated in the ballots for the midterm elections.
Now let's discuss that further with Comelec.
Spokesperson Attorney John Rex Laudianco is now with us on the line. Spokes, thank you for joining us.
Magandang umaga po, Sir Angelo, Ma'am Angela, at sa lahat po ng taga-subaybay ng Brunch.
Good morning, Spokes.
Spokes, the last time you were here, di ba, I asked you about this. What if bigla ang SC biglang mag-issue ng temporary restraining order? Do you remember that, Spokes?
Tama po, at yung sagot po namin doon, kung sakali man, gagawin po ng Comelec ang lahat para sundin po ang magiging kautusan ng Supreme Court.
Opo.
Okay, Spokes, so lilinawin ko lang, no? Does this mean po effectively ay kandidato na sila or subject pa rin for final ruling?
For all intents and purposes po, dahil idadagdag po namin ang pangalan nila, sila po ay magkandidato until such time na magkaroon po ng resolution ng Supreme Court sa mga naturang 5 kaso. Tandaan po natin, ito po ay temporary restraining order. Bagamat pansamantalang kandidato, ito po ay nakadepende pa rin sa final ruling on the merits sa mga kasong yan.
So, Spokes, so, I understand this na for now, ibabalik nyo yung pangalan nila. Pero what if po may final ruling that says disqualified sila? Does it mean we have to destroy the ballots that you reprinted and reprint again?
Hindi naman po. Sa pagtatanggal po, mas madali. Dahil pwede naman po namin i-declare na stray po ang votes nila. So kahit nga po makakuha sila ng boto, pwede po natin baliwalain ang boto na yan.
So, paki-explain na lang po sa amin, Spokes, yung magiging game plan ngayon ng Comelec now na we have decisions from Supreme Court. Ano po yung gagawin ninyo unang-una and how are we going to reach the target na makapag-print ng ballot in time for the elections?
Tama po. So agad-agad po, bagamat wala pa po kaming formal na kopya ng 5 temporary restraining orders, pero kinilala po namin yung anunsyo ng ating Supreme Court. Kaya agad-agad kahapon, 2 bagay po. Agad na pinatigil po ang pag-iimprenta ng balota at iba pang activities sa National Printing Office. Ikalawa po, inutusan na po namin yung aming Information Technology Group dahil kailangan pong baguhin una yung candidates database. Kasunod po ng pagbabago na yan, babaguhin po yung election management system na siyang basis po ng pag-iimprenta ng balota dahil kasunod din po dyan yung ating automated counting machine at consolidation and canvassing system. Yan po ang mga kasunod na babaguhin. Kung matatandaan niyo po, na-certify na po itong 3 na to. Yung EMS nung December 30 at yung ACM at CCS naman po nung Lunes, nung January 13. So tinitignan na rin po namin sa pagbabago bang ito, kailangang uling i-run po namin sila doon sa trusted build na tinatawag na ang gumagawa pa po yung international certifier na Pro-VNV sa Amerika. Dahil po hindi i-risk ng Comelec na magkaroon ng pagdududa ang ating kababayan doon sa programa dahil nga po gumalaw ito. So most likely po talaga pong magpapa-recertify tayo. Ngayon pong umaga ini-inventaryo na rin po ang lahat ng balotang na-imprenta, more or less. Nasa 6 million na po ito. At ito po ay sa katulong ng POA, titignan namin magkano. 2 po ang malaking bagay na gagawin po namin muli. Gagawa po muli kami ng 1,667 na ballot paste templates. I-serialize po namin yan. Ngayon po nga sanang araw na to, meron kaming trusted build na rin ng internet voting. Cancelled po yan at i-reschedule namin. Sa Sabado po sana, may mock elections na po tayo using the trusted build system. Kaya lang dahil dito, uulitin namin, cancelled po ulit tayo. Hopefully, in 1.5 weeks or 2, ay matapos namin at lahat ito at baka sakali sa Lunes makapagsimula na kami ng pag-imprenta. Ikalawang bagay po,
Go
para
ahead po.
mahabol namin ang kakulangan sa oras, papaganahin na po namin hindi lang yung 2 makina ng Miro, kundi pati yung 4 na printing machines ng NPO. 24 hours operation po ito nang mahabol namin ang kinulang.
But, Spokes, listening to all of this, I'm sure na may added cost ito, no? Yeah. Ang tanong kasi ng marami dito, is this part of a contingency fund na meron na ang Comelec or additional costs?
additional cost po ito, no? Hahanapin pa po namin saan kukuha ng pondo dahil tandaan po natin hindi naman kasalanan ng NPO at ng MIRU na meron ganito. Hahanapan pa po namin kung saan kukuha. Ang naging cost po kasi dito, hindi lang naman po yung ating mga balotang nasayang. Bumayad po kami ng printing services, yung
Right.
utilities, yung overtime ng mga tao ng NPO. At hindi lang po yan, sa dyan pa lang po, ang estimate na namin, nasa around 150 million pesos na po yan.
Wow.
I-reprint po natin uli yung 6 na milyong balota na yan. So maari po talagang lumampas sa 200 million pesos po ang ating mga gastos.
Opo. So, sinabi niyo po kanina, no, mga estimate niyo, yung mga na-print na nauna before this Supreme Court decision, mga 6 million. So, ano pong gagawin natin doon sa 6 million na na-print na balota na yun na hindi na po magagamit?
Pagkatapos po itong ma-inventaryo, dadalhin muna po namin pansamantala sa Santa Rosa warehouse namin. Then ultimately po, pag kumpleto na inventaryo, sisirain po namin ito sa harapan ninyong lahat. Micro-shredding po ang tawag dyan. Pagkatapos ay re-recycle para makasigurong hindi magagamit ang mga balotang ito. Dahil tandaan po natin, totoong balota po ito, official ballots, para hindi magamit, sisirain po natin.
And yung sa ilang mga interviews din po ng COMELEC spokes, yung tungkol naman po kay former Governor Chavit Singson na siya po ay nag-withdraw ng kanyang candidacy.
Tatanggalin
Pero
na ba
wala
yun
pa
din?
daw po itong official withdrawal from his camp. Can you tell us more about it?
Opo, no, bagamat nakita nga po namin yung press con po niya, wala pa naman po kami natatanggap. Ngunit nagpasabi po yung kanyang partido na baka sakali po ngayon, kailangan po kasi ang withdrawal ay personal. Kung sakali man po medical or incapacitated, dapat merong doctor certification na hindi niya kaya at ang magdadala po ay yung kanyang kaanak o authorized representative.
Yun, I'd
Kasi
like-
ang mangyayari doon, kapag nabigyan po kayo ng official withdrawal niya, hindi niyo na siya isasama, of course, doon sa printing ng ballot. Pero hanggat wala pa yun, kasama po siya sa printing ng ballot. Tama po?
Tama po kayo, no? Kung aabot po ito sa pagbabago namin, yung kanyang withdrawal, matatanggal po namin siya. Ngunit kung sakali mo pong hindi umabot, mananatili po siya sa balota. So ang tanong po, kung eventually i-file yung kanyang withdrawal, wala pong problema yung kung nakapagsimula na kami, gaya po nung nauna, ay pwede naman po namin i-declare na stray votes, ano man pong boto ang makuha niya.
A little refresher lang for us and the viewing public na spokes. Pwede po bang may pumalit kay former Governor Chavit Singson na for example, anak niya, Singson din?
Dahil siya po ay may partido at ang reason po ay incapacity, maaari pong may pumalit. Dalawang kondisyon po. Kailangan ng papalit ay pakapareho po niya ng partido, miyembro rin ng political party niya. Ikalawa, dapat po same surname yung papalit po sa kanya.
Okay.
Alright, Sigo, can you update us na lang din po, spokesperson, ng ibang mga mga preparations ahead of the midterm elections?
Opo, tuloy-tuloy naman po yung ibang paghahanda natin tulad ng development ng modules para po sa training ng ating electoral boards. Yun nga lang po, dahil po sa babaguhin po natin ang sistema, ma-atras po kami ng konti. Pero pinapairal na po ng COMELEC ang aming contingency measures, kaya po inaasahan namin over the weekend matatapos na po namin yung pagbabago sa sistema. Baka mapacertify na po namin and hopefully early next week po ay makapagsimula na tayo ng printing ng balota, this time using even the 4 machines of the National Printing Office po para tuloy-tuloy po, mahabol ang oras, 24 hours operation po na naka-live stream at pwede pong bisitahin ng ating mga observers.
So, Attorney Rex, parang are you saying na wag mag-worry ang public natin na everything's good to go and on time despite of all the setbacks?
Tama po. Tama po, bagamat ito'y tinuturing na setback, nagkaroon ng delay, COMELEC is still in control of our timelines po. Wala pong cause for alarm dahil po pinapagana namin ngayon ang ating contingency measures. Bagamat sabihin na natin, nagkaroon ng delay, dagdag na gastos, pero ito naman po ay inaasahan din namin. Kaya nga po kami may contingency measures. Bagamat kami nagulat dahil po merong national position na talagang babaguhin, kaya naman pong habulin using the contingency measures.
Alright, on that note, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras sa spokesperson Attorney John Rex Laujanco ng COMELEC.
Maraming salamat po.
Yan don't worry on time daw ang eleksyon. Maghanap lang sila ng pondo.
Tinanong ko ito, naalala ko ito sa kanya, diba? Sabi ko,
They
what
don't expect-
if, diba, hypothetically, biglang ang COMELEC,
Siguro as lawyers
ang Supreme
kasi,
Court.
as a lawyer si Attorney Rex,
Sabi niya, dapat daw noon pa nakapagbigay na ng
they
desisyon.
really
Pero
didn't
sabi
expect
ko,
this siguro.
biglang nagbigay ang ng desisyon ng Supreme Court. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Now, arriving at our 5th spot, a Pasig court has denied the request of detained preacher Apollo Quiboloy to attend a live television interview regarding his candidacy for senator in the 2025 elections. In an order dated January 13, the Pasig RTC Branch 159 stated that Quiboloy's statements could influence public perception of the judiciary and ongoing legal proceedings. The court also noted that Quiboloy's camp had failed to provide a formal invitation from the TV network hosting the interview. In response, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, Quiboloy's legal counsel, called the prohibition of the live interview code uncalled for. Quiboloy is currently facing a non-bailable charge of qualified human trafficking as well as charges of child and sexual abuse.
Called for. Paano naman yung hindi mayaman at gusto mong pa-interview din ng mga inmates? Pwede ba?
Pero yun nga kasi wala naman daw silang naibigay, humingi kasi yung korte ng proof na galing
Sino ba mag-interview sa kanya? SMNI? Di ba SMNI?
No. Ang nakalagay daw dun is from ABS-CBN. Pero wala silang naibigay na
kasi
na interview request.
Okay, oo.
From the said network. So, hindi rin napagbigyan. Pero sinasabi nga nung kampo nila, wag nyo naman tanggalan ng karapatan daw yung kanyang kliyente according to his legal counsel. Ang gawin nyo na lang, sabihin nyo lang kung ano yung mga bawal sabihin, ano yung mga bawal banggitin during the interview. Pero let him proceed with the interview. Pero hindi nga siya pinayagan ng court.
Okay.
Kasi nga kumakandidata siya. Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Coming in at the top 4, aside from illegal POGO workers, authorities are also now dealing with the so-called POGO babies. The details in this report by Mobile Journal, Julie Baiza.
The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOC, is continuously monitoring the operations of small-scale POGOs in the country. PAOC earlier reported that a number of POGO workers refused to leave the country despite the ban and have started guerrilla-style operations.
400 yung minomonitor natin. At yung malalaki talagang marami. Siguro sabihin na natin mga 80% ng 400 na yun talagang tumigil. But yung pagtigil nila na yun, it doesn't mean that talagang totally tumigil sila. Yun nga yung hinahabol natin, mga small scale.
Cruz said that some of these small-scale POGOs have started operating in Visayas and Mindanao. They are usually operating in smaller areas, such as private resorts or apartments, and is usually composed of 20 to 50 individuals.
Yun nga, nakatutok din tayo sa Visayas kasi may mga reports tayong na natatanggap na naglipatan. Actually, nung sinimulan pa lang namin hulihin yung POGO Hub sa Porac, kung saan lumutang nga yung pangalan ni Cassandra Leong. Yung ibang nakawala doon, ang monitoring namin, nagtakbuhan ng Visayas and Mindanao. But mostly sa Visayas namin nakita.
Meanwhile, the agency reported that more than 27,000 foreign POGO workers have left the country.
Nakapagpaalis na tayo ng almost with the Bureau of Migration, pagpaalis na tayo ng mahigit kumulang siguro mga 27,000 na mga POGO workers. At ito ay yung mga pumasok lang within this year.
Cruz also mentioned that they are helping the so-called POGO babies. These infants are children of foreign POGO workers who either left the country or are facing deportation.
Kasi ang hinihingi lang naman ito, mga panggatas, pang-pampers, minsan pambayad sa upa ng apartment. Ganon. Pag na-hospital, kailangan tinutulungan din namin, pinadadala namin sa hospital yung bata. Kasi yung pinakabata na na-encounter namin na sabihin na natin, miyembro ng POGO babies, 2 months old ang pinakabata at ang pinakamatanda naman 2 years old. And then may 3 pang nagdadalang tao na minomonitor kami. So,
November last year, when President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. issued an executive order prohibiting Philippine offshore gaming, internet gaming, and other offshore gaming operations in the Philippines. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We're One News.
Ayun. So, yun lagi natin pinag-uusapan dito kasi nga medyo...
POGO babies.
Oo, nanganganak nga yung mga maliliit na POGOs ngayon. They are running in small scale. Like sa mga subdivision or sa mga condo units doon na
Ang tawag nila dito is a guerrilla operations. So ang ginagawa kasi ng may operator pa rin to kasi nung unang question was, is this solely owned by the guerrilla units themselves? So kunyari ako kinuha ko yung makina, hindi. When we interviewed the PAOK on Brunch last year, sinabi nila hindi. There's still yung Chinese counterpart nila, yung foreign counterpart because nasa kanya ang listahan of sino yung mga tatawagan. He has the master list of pati yung kung saan dumadaan yung pera sa kanya.
Yeah.
Tapos ang ginagawa lang niya, nakadeploy yung mga tao, different parts of the metro. Yung sinasabi mo nga, may apartment, may subdivision, di ba? Doon
Tapos
sila.
recently nga, meron din mga nahuli na mga Chinese POGO operators here sa Philippines. Pero may kasama mga Filipino, kasama din yung mga Filipino sa nahuli kasi parang attempted bribery yung ginawa ng mga Filipino para palayain yung mga boss nila.
Yung boss nila na nakakulong,
Oo,
nakadetain.
Pero sinasabi nila, they're just doing their job kasi syempre, wala naman sila ibang pagkakitaan. Pero still, alam mo, labag pa rin kasi naman
Labag
sa
sa
batas.
batas.
Yun, i-bribe mo yung mga, di ba, authorities na wag i-arestohin yung mga nahuli nila. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Now, on our third spot, the Philippines has reiterated its call for China to withdraw its monster ship from Philippine waters, stressing that its presence in the country's exclusive economic zone is both illegal and provocative. Here's a report.
The Philippine government has reiterated its demand for Beijing to withdraw its China Coast Guard vessel 5901, dubbed the monster ship, from Philippine waters.
The presence of the monster ship in our waters is illegal and inconsistent with the exercise of freedom of navigation and innocent passage. We do not want to normalize this kind of behavior. It is an escalation and provocative.
The Philippine Coast Guard has deployed two of its largest vessels, BRP Gabriela Silang and BRP Teresa Magbanwa, to drive the monster ship away. The vessel was last spotted 77 nautical miles west of Capones Island in San Antonio, Zambales.
Our main role right now is to make sure that the China Coast Guard vessel don't come close off the coast of Zambales. With regard to moving them farther away from Bajo de Masinloc, I think that's a different question already.
Meanwhile, the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea insisted that it would not allow China to build artificial islands on Scarborough Shoal, also known as Panatag or Bajo de Masinloc.
These are red lines, non-negotiable, na gagawa siya ng any structure or reclamation on Bajo de Masinloc. We have the appropriate contingency plans in the armed forces to address that.
Authorities are also investigating 5 suspected underwater drones. The latest one was found in Masbate and is reportedly difficult to detect. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
Don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. May ano? May greet?
Yeah, we have a breaking news kasi, international news, yung South Korean President na si Yoon Suk-yeol has finally been arrested today sa kanyang residential area. Actually, this is the second attempt, na-arrest siya, in-arrest siya. Dahil the first one, yung nga paligid kasi yung mga presidential security niya. But this time around, he was finally arrested para nga dun sa nangyaring pag-declare niya ng martial law. Remember a few months ago, last year. So he could be facing death penalty or life imprisonment, depende yun sa magiging desisyon ng kanyang kanyang kaso.
First Southeast Asian or Asian president to be
Dito
detained.
sa kanila, sa South Korea.
Sa South Korea in their history.
Alright, let's move on. Batiin ko lang pala ng mabilis yung mga nanonood daw sa atin sa YouTube. Matagal na daw silang nanonood pala sa atin. Every Monday to Friday. Si Violeta Dabalos, nanonood daw siya.
Uy.
At saka si Elmo Cardenas naman mula sa Montalban, Rizal.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, let's continue with our countdown.
Moving over to our second spot, President Bongbong Marcos has maintained a majority of public trust and approval while Vice President Sara Duterte's ratings have declined according to Okta Research's 2024 fourth quarter tugon ng masa survey. President Marcos's trust rating slightly decreased to 65% from 69% in the previous quarter, while his performance rating dropped to 64% from 66%. Meanwhile, Vice President Duterte's trust rating fell significantly from 59% to 49%, a 10 percentage point drop. Her performance rating also dropped from 52% to 48%. This marks the first time Vice President Duterte's trust and approval ratings have fallen below the majority threshold. The survey was conducted from November 10 to 16, 2024, through face-to-face interviews with 1,200 male and female respondents. Now let's talk more about these ratings. We have Okta Research Fellow Dr. Guido David.
Hi, Prof.
Hi, Prof. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Doc pala.
Yes, good morning, Diego and Angela, and sa mga viewers and listeners natin. Happy New Year din.
Happy New Year, nice to
Prof.
have you back again, ha?
Prof, well, we just had a rally no, noong January 13. Supposedly, it's a show of force. But based on numbers nyo from November, mukhang malaki po ang decline ni VP Sara. Now, overall, what are these numbers telling us? And do you think may epekto tong January 13 rally to increase her numbers again or yung wala?
Well, yung survey was conducted November 10 to 16, 2024. Ito yung bahagi natin ito ng MASA's fourth quarter survey ng Okta Research. So may 1,200 respondents nationwide face-to-face, as you mentioned. And this is not mission survey, so mahalaga na masabi natin yan kung magawa lang ng commission ito.
Okay.
Ngayon, tama kayo na may pagbaba yung numbers ng Vice President. But this was as of November 10 to 16. So the question is, maaari bang tumaas? Lagi naman may possibility na magbago yung numbers, whether tumaas or bumaba. I mean, andyan talaga yun. It's on the table for any government or government agency. Pero ano yung magiging epekto nitong rally? Ngayon, yung at least ako yung personally, yung appreciation ko for rally, it's a rally for peace. And parang general naman siya na for peace. So, and may mga nag-attend dito, yung Vice President's numbers, yun nga, is it necessarily a rally for the Vice President? Some perceive it as yes, pero some, perceive it as a general rally. So, depende siguro sa interpretation or appreciation ng ating mga kababayan. Pero, of course, mostly nang nag-attend ng rally, 1.5 million sa my understanding is from a religious group, of course. So, yun nga, hindi, it's not clear pa sa ngayon what the effect will be. Ang maganda dito, nagpapasurvey kami ngayon, baka every month. So, this January, magkakasurvey kami. So, baka tinatanong namin sa question, makikita natin kung magkakaroon ng effect itong rally, kung tataas yung numbers or will they remain the same or bababa pa.
Prof, just to give us a context, ano po ba yung pinaka naging question dito sa sa naging survey niyo recently?
Well, yung question naman actually standard dito. So we ask this every quarter. So may mga pangalan tayo ng mga top government officials and tinatanong natin kung masasabi ba nila ay mataas yung tiwala nila, mataas yung trust nila, or mababa yung trust nila, or kung ayaw nilang sagutin. Ganun din sa performance, tinatanong natin kung sila ay satisfied sa performance, mataas yung satisfaction nila, or kung mababa, or kung undecided sila.
Ito po bang number na to, Doc? Itong mga numbers na napag-usapan natin ngayon based on the survey, do you think this will have an effect doon sa impeachment complaints filed against VP Sara?
It definitely could have an effect, pero it should not have an effect, meaning na if there's an impeachment complaint, it should be by parang procedure. Ibig sabihin kung ano yung kung meron sa perception ng mga nag-file ng complaint, may na-perceive sila na violation na ginawa ng Vice President. So it should not really have an effect, pero of course, the reality is, connected lahat to. So, some might use it as unfortunately or unfortunately, gamitin ng iba na yung gusto nilang isulong. And that's the reality of it. Kami, we just get the numbers and report lang namin. Pero yung impeachment, I mean, I think may separate survey na ginanap about impeachment, and that is actually probably more telling kung masusulong yung impeachment na yon. Pero of course, hindi naman necessarily, because yung impeachment naman depende sa mga mambabatas, and hindi naman siya necessarily a popularity question. Kumbaga, kung sa tingin nila may violation, di i-file nila yung impeachment. Kung sa tingin nila wala, di hindi naman nila i-file.
Yeah, Doc, lastly, we all know naman that the Duterte brand is his popular brand, but yung decline ng numbers ni VP Sara is very significant. Now, yung mga press conference, scathing and angry press conference that she had, ito ba ang major contributor sa pagbagsak ng mga numero niya?
Well, nakita natin maraming nangyari over the past months, especially ng mga leading up to November, yung mga Senate hearing, yung mga Quadcom hearing. I think naka-affect yun. And to be fair, pag titingnan natin yung breakdown ng numbers ng Vice President, hindi naman siya all over the Philippines na ganyan. In fact, pag titingnan natin sa Mindanao, she retains a high trust. Nasa 90%, 9 out of 10 Filipinos from Mindanao still trust her. On the other hand, sa Metro Manila at sa NCR, nasa mga 28 to 30% na lang yung trust niya. So, there's a geographic discrepancy. So, kumbaga, iba-iba rin yung appreciation or yung impact nitong mga events na to sa mga kababayan natin depending on where they are. So, kumbaga, yung mga nasa Mindanao, parang hindi naman sila na-affect itong mga pangyayari. Pero yung mga nasa NCR,
Alright, maraming salamat po ulit sa inyong oras. That was Octa Research Fellow Dr. Guido David. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good morning.
Okay, let's proceed with our top story. Now on our top story, amid impeachment complaints and NBI investigation, Vice President Sara Duterte said she may run for the presidency in 2028. Here's the report.
Vice President Sara Duterte is now seriously considering running in the 2028 presidential elections. She disclosed that during her meet and greet with overseas Filipino workers in Japan. Duterte believes that Filipinos should stand firm, especially with government policies that need fixing. According to her, this could only be done if the people are united and know where they are going. She noted that the country cannot continue backsliding. For former Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo, Duterte can easily win for president if the support she has now is any indication. Panelo cited Iglesia ni Cristo's peace rally that drew thousands of people. INC noted, though, that the gathering was in support of President Bongbong Marcos's stance not to pursue impeachment complaints against Duterte.
Star power ni Inday Sara hindi nawawala, hindi kumukupas. Unang-una, kung siya'y tumakbo nun, siya na ang presidente ngayon.
Duterte is facing at least 3 impeachment complaints from various groups. This comes on the heels of anomalous spending of her office's confidential funds. The vice president was also investigated over her alleged death threat against Marcos. The NBI will soon disclose its findings on the matter.
We just have to look at the law as something that equalizes everything between all of us. That's why we cannot give special favors to people because of standing.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Okay, so base nga dun kasi 'di ba dun sa impeachment complaint, if we're going to talk about it, inaantay pa daw supposedly ni retired General Velasquez yung tawag dito, yung 4th impeachment complaint.
Before he transmits all 4 of them. Para isahan na lang.
Isahan na lang.
Pero yung about yung topic na 2028, even though before walang peace rally, alam naman natin na malaki ang chance na tatakbo siya. Because siya yung pambato ng Duterte brand.
Yes, oo, totoo yan. Pero di ba before, tinatanong siya nga kung kakandidato ka pa, hindi pa naman no? Pero ngayon medyo...
Pero kung tatanungin mo
you can see the picture na.
Si Daddy Digong, wag na. Parang sasakit lang ulo mo.
But knowing them, paiba-iba naman sila ng sinasabi. Okay.
That's the Duterte serye. Yan. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Castro.
And I'm Angelo Castro III. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.